That is extremely important, guys. If you know Star Citizen, you know that the only places where you find NPCs are stations and underground bunkers. Now, sure, people would say, but Irad, what about the landing zones? That is different. On landing zones, the NPCs are on a defined path. They are basically on the track. They are being told to go from one place to another, and that's basically it. It's coded, it's predefined. There is no unpredictability. What they are trying to do here is to allow NPCs to have their own lives in the verse, just like you do. You know, NPCs taking missions, NPCs being on a job and doing whatever it takes to get their job completed, including going to wherever they can. That's not the case right now in landing zones. And that's also going to be including NPCs following you. NPC following you, as Buzz69 says here in the chat, for NPC taxi missions, which are not... I think that's the reason why NPC taxi missions have been delayed, which has been a bummer for me. I've been really looking forward to those missions, but right now, NPCs could only go from a station to a ship to a station. With this take, and you're going to see NPCs will be able to go everywhere. So you'll be able to pick up an NPC at an outpost at Paro and bring that NPC to a landing zone. Or you'll be able to pick an NPC at a landing zone and take that NPC to a cave or whatever, or do some tourism. It's going to be revolutionary. And you'll be able to hire NPCs as well to do combat missions. You know, you want to do a combat mission? You want to have some NPCs coming with you and fight with you? That's also what it is going to be allowing further down the line.
What we currently have in Star Citizen is a lot of really cool environment, but pretty much no AI.
Yeah, it's pretty much empty.
We want to make the world alive and reactive to the player.
By the way, what are we looking at here? This is, I'm just checking, because this looks like it's definitely Lorville, but nothing really new here. These are the containers. It's probably not Lorville with the cargo refactor. It would be cool though. Always looking for Easter eggs.
What we are
Never
building
know.
right now is the planetary navigation tech. That is an extension of our current system to be able to have AI finally on the planets.
Right now, what you saw here, that NPC moving
With
from one place to another,
navigation
is something they
mesh, at
can't
this
do.
stage, we are.
Oh, that's so cool. So there we go, guys. So what you see here in black is where NPCs will not be able to walk, and in blue is where NPCs will be able to walk.
What we call phase 0, the engineering phase. We are moving from a flat structure of the navigation mesh, where we assume that the environment is flat,
which is landing zones right now.
And now we are converting the information that we have about our navigation mesh tile into a curved environment.
We have this generation process of the tile. We have the connection of the tile generated, connecting it with the other tiles existing.
Which is basically telling where the NPCs are able to go and where they can't go.
To be able to use all those tiles.
For example, that little piece here, NPCs will not be able to climb on it, but they'll definitely be able to climb those stairs here, so that's why it's blue. They'll be able to be dropped off those roofs here as well.
So what the AI system does is it gets this information from physics. So it gets told when specific patch are built and created. And then we use this information from physics to actually generate a very detailed nav mesh on the planet. And we try to generate it around the action that happens.
Yeah, very important here. They don't want to have this map all over the planets because, again, it's going to completely overload the servers, and I think that the NPCs would also be confused. It's basically the same as when you are playing. When you are playing, not the entire world around you is going to be generated by the client. The client is only generated what you see in your field of vision. What's behind you, behind your eyes, is not generated either. And that's going to be the same for these AIs. The AI is only going to be seeing and it's only going to be computing the data that will be around it.
So if the player lands in a location and AI are around, then of course we try to prioritize that part to give us the information that we require to actually make the gameplay happening.
We are doing this dynamically because our planets are too big, and at this moment there is no power, and even memory enough to do this statically at the export time, and
that's
to
what they're
have all
saying
this
here.
information to read and to use it.
So we're looking at what we're looking at right now are Rex, and this could be also explaining why we don't have NPCs inside Rex. We do have NPCs inside the Rex because they are basically ships, but these NPCs, if you notice, they never come out of the Rex. Simply because, well, they can't. They just don't know where to go. The technology is not there. With this technology, they'll be able to put NPCs pretty much everywhere. Yeah, that's the Javelin Wreck. Yep, absolutely, Buzz.
The result is basically that you're going to see NPCs walking on the terrain surface, being able to follow you because you hired them, or
now that is a huge pipe bomb here. They'll be able to follow you because you will have hired them. I really hope that this was the tech that was blocking NPC AI being able to be hired by players. I think that it would be phenomenal to be able to hire a couple of NPCs, have those NPCs, hired at a station, follow you in your ship, and then they would be deploying with you inside, just leaving the ship, and they'll be deploying with you at the battlefield and fighting with you in bunkers or in these areas, fighting alongside you. It would be fantastic. It would be fantastic. Yeah, that's very much needed indeed, Buzz 69. And I think especially, I would love those NPCs to get the crime stat instead of you when you are accidentally shooting other NPCs that are friendly. On a side note, can you imagine, you hire NPCs, they accidentally shoot a friendly, and then they get a crime stat, so you shoot the people you hire. Anyway, I'm just extrapolating here.
because some of them entered in combat with you.
In the future of Star Citizen, what people will experience
You have to
is
fly
an
the
alive
curry.
world where NPCs can actually roam across the planet more freely between structures and very natural environment, where the environment is filled with fauna and animals.
There we go. That's another reason why they finished working on the Boreal Stalker, which is like the Microtech Yeti, and that's something that I've been complaining for quite some time. It's going to be almost a year, since the Boreal Stalker has been finished according to the progress tracker. And why is it not there? That's because they need that tech as well. And we could very well be seeing also the first creatures, including the Boreal Stalker, all Macrotech, roaming on the planet once this tech comes alive.
That can actually move and use information of the environment, like feed out of the environment, or drink water from a river. And this will really be a game changer, because it will really make players experience an world that is alive and not just an environment that they need to explore.
That's a good point here. Buzz says in the chat, it looks like this is a point where we're close to server meshing, because all these additional assets need a lot of server performance. That is that's very true. Another pointer that leads me to believe that we're getting closer to server meshing is something that we've seen in yesterday's video when we talked about the roadmap. They are going to be bringing additional locations, including satellites around the standard system, satellites that we don't have. I mean, we have them around Crusader, Korea, the Kovalex Gondo, but we don't have them around the other planets. And the reason why we don't have locations is because the servers are always oversaturated. But if they're slowly but surely bringing in server meshing, then obviously the servers are going to be less saturated, and they're going to be able to cram more locations inside. It could also explain why they're aiming at releasing this perhaps even this year.
So for when it's coming, this is still in discussion, but
this is huge, guys. Listen to that. When is this coming? Usually there is no when. Usually they don't say when. It's coming when it's coming, but that's not the case here.
The door right now is open for possibly 318, 319.
There we go. Possibly 318. 318, guys, is the end of June. 319 is CitizenCon. So it's basically we're looking at this year. We're looking at a possible release this year. I wouldn't get my hopes high that much for 318, although what we're looking at here is very cool. But even 319, I'll be so happy to see that in 319. That would definitely bring more gameplay. It would change the game a lot. I mean, we're talking about it would change the game just like the inventory system and the health system changed the game. That's how it's going to be changing the game. It's going to feel completely different.
Release.
It's going to feel like actual tangible project.
Technology.
Yes. Wait. So, on the first, so what is he talking about missions here? So a release for 3.18 and 3.19 possibly.
3.19 release of the first missions.
With its including the first missions. Wow, so it's not just going to be NPCs roaming around, it's also going to be missions. Great. We need more missions definitely in the game. More stuff to do, more fun stuff to do for players. Give us more content, CIG. And if we also have missions coming along with that tech, I think that it's going to make a lot of players happy.
I'm really looking forward for people to play it.
So what did we learn this week?
Well, this is pretty much awesome. And that's pretty much it for this live stream, guys. I'm really looking forward to, especially the nav mesh, having players encountering NPCs around the standard system. I think that it's going to be making a huge difference. But it's pretty much it for this video. Buzz says here it could be the NPC taxi missions he's talking about because they were on the roadmap already. Could be Buzz, but the NPC taxi missions are, they're not really on planets themselves. I mean, not the ones that Tony Z talked about in the presentation. They were from station to station, but it could be involving tier 0, and a tier 0 could be from station to station. I think that you're right. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget that we have a giveaway this month. I'm giving away thanks to Triple some Predator mounts. It's a set of 2 mounts that's going to allow you to put your joystick in front of you and climbing it on your desktop, pretty much any kind of surface. They're very awesome and very comfortable. All you have to do is to subscribe to the channel in public settings and answer the question I'm asking right now. What do you think those AI are going to be used for when this tech is going to come out in the verse? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, if you want to help me out on Patreon or via the YouTube Join membership program, we also have a giveaway there on Discord thanks to Dr. Forbin. It's a Crusader Genesis Starliner. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Eric Cohn, Dr. Forbidden, and the Digidon is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later. A huge shout out to everyone who's been helping me out on Patreon and via the YouTube Join membership program. Creating content on YouTube involves continuous circles of ups and downs, and it is when we are the lower parts of the curve that your help really motivates me to keep on going. Your contribution really does make a difference, which is why in return I try to give back by offering backers access to my private Discord channel, automatic access to exclusive giveaways, or answering your questions during the show. You can help me out with as little as $1 a month, and any help is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching again. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later.